I'ma roll with the click, yeah. I'ma roll with the click. I'ma roll with the click, ooh. I keep a pole in the whip. I switch the swag with legit, and boy, you know I got the drip. These haters mad cause I'm lit. But watch your girl take a sip, bitch. I'ma roll with the click. I keep a pole in the whip. I switch the swag with legit, and boy, you know I got the drip. These haters mad cause I'm lit. But watch your girl take a sip. I'm trapping on the low, that's how it goes. Moved up out the hood, bitch, I had to find my nose. Moved to the other side, house saying adios. Niggas out here getting mad, they try to do the most. I hit you with this phone, I turn you to a ghost. These niggas talking jokes, talking about he tryna roast. I pull up on the side, I'm stacking chips, I'm getting close. These niggas out here told you from the jump, don't come approach. For real, I'm trapping in the field. My niggas out here thugging, but I gotta keep the steel. Hey, fuck how niggas feel, this shit done got way too real. Bitch, I'ma roll with the clip. I keep a pole and do it. I switch the swag with legit, and boy, you know I got the trip. These haters mad cause I'm lit. But watch your girl take a sip, bitch, I'ma roll with the clip. I keep a pole and do it. I switch the swag with legit, and boy, you know I got the trip. These haters mad cause I'm lit. But watch your girl take a sip. I'm trapping in and out, man, I gotta hit these routes. I know these niggas looking, bitch, ain't clearing up no clout. Them hoes that used to hate me, now she sit back and she pout. I'm out here in these streets and I ain't worrying about a thing. I'm out here for real, without a deal. My nigga trapping, bitch, I'm still up in the field. Had to keep it real, cause that shit got really real. You feel me, you feel me. I'm trapping on the low, my niggas out here thugging, but I gotta keep the steel. Hey, fuck how niggas feel, this shit done got way too real. Bitch, I'ma roll with the click. I keep a pole and do it. I switch the swag with legit, and boy, you know I got the trip. These haters mad cause I'm lit. But watch your girl take a sip, bitch, I'ma roll with the click. I keep a pole and do it. I switch the swag with legit, and boy, you know I got the trip. These haters mad cause I'm lit. But watch your girl take a sip. It's that Lauderdale top, Lauderdale bop. Pull up on your block, niggas say they gon' pop. Pull up in that drop, nigga in that new coupe. Pull up, nigga, baby blue, thinking that he new stoop. Out here for real, without a deal. My niggas thuggin', bitch, I'm still up in the field. Had to keep it real, cause that shit got really real. You feel me, you feel me. I'm trapping on the low, my niggas out here thuggin', but I gotta keep the steel. Hey, fuck how niggas feel, this shit done gotten way too real. I'ma roll with the click, I keep a pole and do it. I switch the swag with the chick, boy, you know I got the trip. These haters mad cause I'm lit. But watch your girl take a sip, bitch, I'ma roll with the click. I keep a pole and do it. I switch the swag with the chick, boy, you know I got the trip. These haters mad cause I'm lit. But watch your girl take a sip.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Angry Man Podcast. We're back. We are back, everyone. Back like we never left. And today's topic, we'll be discussing something very serious. It's the failure, the incompetence of the EEOC. You know, the EEO, or what I like to call the EE-No. But before we get into that, let's hear a clip about the EEO.
63% of workers who filed a complaint with the EEOC eventually lost their job. 63%. I feel like we have the spooky lighting because these numbers are spooky. These numbers are terrifying, right? If you filed a disability discrimination claim, it was actually 67% of workers that lost their jobs. My goodness. And about 40% of workers who filed a claim felt they experienced retaliation.
That is crazy and very sickening. 63% of people who file with the EEOC lost their job. It's 67 if they file a disability claim. And 40% felt like it was based off of retaliation. Why is that? Why can't I go and seemingly do the right thing, go to a company or an organization that is supposed to protect my rights as an employee to eventually lose my job? How is that possible? How is that even fair or right? That sounds like a problem. And you know us here, we like statistics. So let's talk about the EEO for a second. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or the EEOC, has faced significant criticism for shortcomings in effectively protecting workers' rights. That's your whole goal and mission, to protect workers' rights. So, how can there be shortcomings? How can there be any type of failure there, especially in high numbers? That means someone is not doing their job correctly. Despite its mandates to reduce federal laws against workplace discrimination, data and experts' analyses reveal systematic issues that hinder its efficiency. How can you not be efficient at your job if your main focus and goal is to be efficient and protect people's rights? They have a low success rate, high job loss post complaint. It's between 2012 and 2016 that at least 63% of workers who filed discrimination complaints with the EEOC lost their jobs. It rose to 67% for disability related claims. You heard it. You heard it in that video. But trust me, I have an article to show and prove this as well. These are not just me reading off random facts or just stating random facts. This is what's really happening. In the same period, only 12% of cases resulted in monetary awards, with a median payout of $8,500. So I could be discriminated against, potentially lose my job to get $8,500. That is great. That is amazing. I can live the rest of my life with $8,500 because, you know, things are so cheap in this world that $8,500 can buy me a whole mansion and take care of my children for the rest of my life, right? That's a joke and that's sickening. Furthermore, just 7% led to mandated charges in the workplace. 7%. So out of 100% of cases filed, only 12% resulted in some monetary compensation, and only 7% resulted in mandated changes and charges. That is ludicrous. That is not a great succession rate. That is something that is fireable. If I produce those numbers at my place of employment, you best believe that they'll probably kick me out the door and say, you're not producing enough. So, how is it that a whole commission that's tasked to help the employees aren't held to the same standard? How is it that these people are allowed to be failures at their jobs and still keep their jobs? Seems like there's some underhanded things going on there. It seems like they're more for the employer than the employee. And I have proof of that as well. From 2010 to 2017, approximately 82% of closed EEO cases concluded without any relief for the complainant. In nearly 2/3 of these cases, the agency issued a no cause finding, indicating insufficient evidence to support the claim. Listen, let me just tell you this. If you're an employee and you feel you have to file a complaint against your employer for some type of discrimination, it should be looked into with the highest amount of regard, because that means that employee felt unsafe at some point. So, how is it that you're saying 82% of the cases were closed with no cause? It's because they're inadequate people within that organization that's meant to protect the rights of employees. And I have no doubt that some of them are probably chummy with the employers, might even be taking kickbacks to have that no cause. These employers get away with everything. They mistreat people on a regular basis, but for some reason, they're never held accountable. And this is proof right here. As of 2017, each EEO staff member was responsible for approximately 77,000 American workers. That's the problem. Overworked, they're probably underpaid, and they don't feel like they need to do their job, or they do a poor job. They do a half-assed job. And the result is people suffer and eventually get fired for trying to do the right thing. They're being retaliated against by their employers for filing a complaint. The employer saying, how dare you tell the truth of you being mistreated and discriminated against? We're going to fire you now. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. Now, of course, they're going to use things like budget constraints, but that's everywhere. No employer wants to pay their employee what they deserve. If they could get them to work for free, they would. A lot of these wages aren't livable. We went through that a few episodes ago, talking about the medium income in this country. If you haven't heard it, I suggest you go listen. It's a very powerful episode that speaks a lot of facts. Retaliation is the most frequent alleged form of discrimination, accounting for 56% of all claims in 2020. Not even too long ago. 56% people feel like they're being retaliated against. That's over half of the cases. Why is it that 56% of people feel like they're being retaliated against? It should be 0%. There should be no retaliation. And if there is retaliation, there should be protections for that. But as you can see, EEO is a bunch of failures. They can't do their jobs properly or adequately because each employee is supposedly responsible for 77,000 workers. And that's on the federal level. Let's not get into the state and the city level where the numbers might be less and they still do less and have the same amount of findings or the same results, I should say. It's incompetence all around. These people are failures all around. They fail themselves and they fail the employees because they don't protect the employees. They protect the employer. That's why there's a lot of no cause. Studies indicate that up to 90% of workers who experience harassment choose not to report it, fearing retaliation or believing that the EEOC process will not yield meaningful results. I wonder why. I wonder why they think that the EEO process will not yield results in their favor. It's because the numbers suggest that it won't. The low failure rate, 7%. That means 93% of these cases fail. These people do not do their jobs effectively enough, which leads to people not wanting to file claims because they feel like they won't get the results that they desire, and the results will go in favor of the employer, which then will lead to the employer retaliating against them and them losing their income. It's a vicious cycle, and it happens too much. Who is really out there for the employee and not the employer? Who's going to take the side of the actual worker? And even in some cases, middle management, because we all know that middle management in some cases are just puppets. They do what they're told and they're used as scapegoats while the person on top sits on top pulling the strings. While the EEOC has made strides in addressing workplace discrimination, systematic issues such as low success rates, resource limitations, and inconsistent protections for vulnerable groups highlight significant areas where the agency has failed to fully safeguard workers' rights. They can't safeguard anything. They probably can't even protect themselves at this point. The high level of scrutiny and the mandates of different administrations don't allow them to do their jobs properly because you got a bunch of idiots running this country on both sides. On both sides, there's a bunch of idiots that run this country in control of the lives of the American people. America only benefits major corporations and government officials. America does not benefit the American people, the hard workers of this country. When are we going to realize that and stand up for what's right and fight for what's right and fight for our lives because our lives are at stake and at jeopardy. We need to stand up against this tyranny that is called the government, force them to be better and do better because right now they're failing every single one of us. Listen, man, we're talking about the EEO here. They're supposed to protect the employees. Instead, they're failing them at every turn. How is that something that we should accept? How is that something that we should tolerate? It's disgusting and it's embarrassing for the EEO. All right, guys, so it's story time. Enough with the statistics and the facts. Let me tell you about a case that I am familiar with, and I will not be saying any names or organizations to protect the innocent party, but I know someone who has filed EEO complaints against their employer, and not even a complaint. All they asked was for a reasonable accommodation, which was denied because their employer said no. Not only did their employer and EEO deny them a reasonable accommodation after they appealed it and was denied again, which forced them back into working without that accommodation that they need for their disability. They continued to monitor and track every little thing that this person is doing because they want to build a case against them. When this person was cleared to go to work by their physician with restrictions, EEO held up and continues to hold up the process of them returning to work because they're in cahoots with the employer. They're trying to force this person to go back to the physician to get another letter without those restrictions so they don't have to accommodate because the employer doesn't want to accommodate and EEO is slow walking the process to force that person into a bad predicament. You know why? Because if they could get them to get this letter from their physician stating that they no longer need these restrictions, then the employer can come back and say they never need these restrictions or an accommodation and try to use that against them as well. So, in the event if this person ends up getting hurt on the job, they can use that against them if they choose to file a workers' comp case or claim. Tell me that's not something that was cooked up between the employer and the EEO. In my mind, and based off of my experience, that's definitely something that was spoke about behind the scenes on how they were going to deal with this case together. Why should this person, who shall remain nameless, have to suffer because the EEO does not want to help protect them? Why should this person have to suffer because the EEO wants to conspire with the employer? And this is happening far too much in many places. It's happening on a federal level, it's happened on a state level, and it's happened on a local city level. It's a slap in the face. EEO and your employer are slapping you in your face all the time. This is an atrocity, but there's been a lot of atrocities, and there will continue to be a lot of atrocities against the people of this country until you guys decide to stand up and fight for what's right. When are you going to wake up? When are you going to get just as angry as I am and start to say something and do something about it? Shame on that employer and shame on that local EEO office because it's because of them that this person has to suffer. It's because of them that this person's family has to suffer. They're effectively taking away this person's right to earn money to feed their family. How is that right or even legal? But enough with that. We're going to be moving on to our last and final segment, and it's that time. You know, your favorite time. It's time for Goofy of the Week. All right, man. And this week's Goofy has to go to not an individual, but individuals. And it would be the heads of the EEO, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. You know, those people that are appointed by presidents. Charlotte A. Burroughs was designated by President Biden as chair of the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC, And now we have a new person that was appointed by Trump, Andrea R. Lucas. And this is within the last few years, right? But it also shows within the last few years of their incompetence because these things are continuing to happen. These failures are continuing to happen. So no matter what leadership they bring in, changes never occur. We have losers appointing losers, which cause the American people to lose because they don't care about what's happening to the American people. They only care about their appointment and their paychecks and how they can do as much as they can within the time that they have to make as much money as they can. How can you be head of an organization and allow that same organization to fail and be okay with that? Where are your backbones? Where is your competence? Where is your ability to lead? What changes have been made? Because there aren't any changes. It's continued failure. If you try to go and file a complaint with the EEOC today, you won't get far. You might be able to get through the inquiry stage, but the moment you try to schedule an appointment with that department within your state, you know what's going to happen? It's going to say that there are no appointments available, whether it be by phone, by video, or in person. Come back and try again later. That either means that there's a plethora of complaints happening, or these people are just too lazy and they don't want to meet with people. They don't want to do their jobs. And I think that there's a mixture of both. And it all starts and stems from their leadership. It trickles downhill. So whatever their leaders are doing, they will do too. Charlotte A. Burrows has proven to be inadequate under the Biden administration. And I have no doubt that Andrea R. Lucas will continue the trend of being inadequate. People, this just goes to show that no matter who you put in the top seat, they'll continue to fail. You know who won't fail you? You and those just like you. In the words of that Kendrick Lamar song, they're not like us. And it's evident. They're not like us. They don't like us. They'll never be us. And they'll never know our struggles. So who better to support one another than us? Because we know each other's struggles. We know each other's pain. And we can empathize with that. They can't. They've already attained the highest level that they'll probably ever be in life, and they're content with just that alone. They don't care about making any real changes. They don't care about anything besides that paycheck that they're getting, and they care about their next move when that paycheck stops. Can they get enough to retire on and never have to work another day in their life? So let's stop caring about them and care about us more, because these people suck. The head of the EEO commission suck. The people that appoint them suck. And you know what's starting to suck? This country. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a podcaster on a microphone. But before I go, I'll leave you with this. From here, there, near, far, to and fro. That's just how the game goes. This is your boy, Mr. Unknown from the Angry Man Podcast. Thank you for tuning in this week. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And we're out.
Hey. Let me talk to him real quick. Hey. Look.
Good job, Jabari.
Can't go to the left, can't go to the right. All we know is up, so you know my future bright. These words that I recite, I'm not trying to be polite. These niggas Twitter tight, but we don't believe the hype. Bitch, I'm down the slide, put that dick up in your life. I got murder on my mind, niggas talking homicide. Bitch, I'm with my slime, and you know we certified. And we bonafide, so don't you try, that's just how the game goes. Yeah, you sliding with your cable, but we ain't saving these hoes. Nah, that's just how the game goes. Hey, tell them, that's just how the game goes. Yeah, you sliding with your cable. how the game goes. And we tell them, look, okay, move it to the left, baby, move it to the right. Do that thing, oh, baby, show me what it's like. She ain't gonna tell, baby, she just wanna ride. She done got so wet, baby, let me see you slide. Make it clap, shawty work that back, baby, go get the strap. Tell them straight up, why you do it like that? Make it clap, shawty work that back, baby, stash, stash, Lord. I tell them, that's just how the game goes. Yeah, you sliding with your cable, but we ain't saying he hoes. Nah, that's just how the game goes. Hey, tell them, that's just how the game goes. Yeah, you sliding with your cable, still ain't saving the hoes. Nah, that's just how the game goes. Haters out here talking, tripping, we can't let it slide. That pressure get applied, I'm just telling you my life. I'm about to get the bag and now they keep hitting my line. But everything is good and I'm still hitting that decline. Fuck all your emojis, I be ghosting, no reply. Reminiscing in my feelings, wanna see my sister smile. My mama lost a child, I've been holding this shit inside. But now we going global, so I'm vocally inspired. Got the sack, R&B and trap, run it up, baby. Oh, you know we got the bag. Big step, we taking racks. Play, we get you clap. That's a fact, don't do no cap. And can't tolerate no rats. That's just how the game goes. Yeah, you sliding with your cable, but we ain't saving the hoes. Nah, that's just how the game goes. Hey, tell them, that's just how the game goes. You sliding with your cable, still ain't saving the hoes. Nah, that's just how the game goes.